Good afternoon, everyone. It is October 27th, 2022. This will be a video for tomorrow's RTH session for October 28th. What did we have today and what do we have going forward? Let's just zoom out into our monthly view here. So again, what I was looking for was this patch of inventory to sell against this short squeeze of inventory from late September to late October. We got up to our level here at 67 quarter, which we rejected today, and now we've fallen back inside October's highs, which is interesting. Now, the main question we have is, will we be able to get back over these early October highs and clear our current high of the month and get into this 39.62? Or are we going to come back below about 37.40-ish, these September highs, these late September highs, and come back and test sort of that 3650 down to 3600 area? On the weekly view, what we have is these were those Globex bids, and I did say that the Globex bids, they likely will give us scalpable bounces, but beyond that, they will likely fall apart, and that is what we saw today after hours. Upon Amazon and Apple's earnings releases, these bids did not hold, to no surprise. What is surprising, though, is that prior to the sell-off, prior to today's earnings results, we were unable to get any higher, get into these 3900s. So let's go into tomorrow's plan. What are we looking at? Let's zoom out just a little bit so we can see a little bit more of the market. Here we go. There we are. So what are we looking at? We've got October's earlier month highs here. There's our monthly high to date. And right now, as of the close, we're below that monthly high. And so what I'll be looking at and treating a pivot as is this 22 number. 22 just being Monday's high of the day. That's where we caught a bid during today's trend down. We caught a great bid, and that's where we sold off of into the close. The high of the month was sitting at 38.20 before, so it's right around there. The value area high of last week is sitting at 38.18. Sorry, not of last week, but the week prior, 38.18. And essentially, what I'm seeing is if we can have reversion, if we can hold this on the short side and have reversion down back into this 37.40-ish area, and if we get below that, then if we can move our way down to monthly VWAP around 37.15 to the upside, and perhaps it's clearer if I draw a weekly profile out. So let's try that. We've got Monday's open over here, draw it out to the close. There we go. Let's bring it down to a 5-minute, maybe gets a little more accurate. There we go. So this 38.22 being a little bit above where we've developed the weekly value area low. We've done a lot of volume around that 38.45-ish number. I think it's 44 quarter, and the value area high around 67. I'm not too interested in playing inside of this value area on the week. I think there will be some spots to possibly get short. 38.34.75. So that was our critical number on Monday, which held the bid. That is our FOMC spike base as well from Wednesday, September 21st. And so that 30 number, that's where we put in a POC today. That is where we have Wednesday's low of the day right at 34. So it's settlement lows as well as today's POC. So I think 34 may be able to sell off, or the POC sells off from 44.5, or we make our way up to this 67 quarter area. This should not be a look above and fail. This should just be a level. So I think although there are a few places that those settlement lows combined with the POC, this weekly developing POC, or maybe slightly higher around 50.5, even though these numbers are areas where we may sell off of, once you're above 20-ish, you're above that earlier month's high. You're above that weekly value area high as well. you're above the sell-off, the earnings sell-off. Overall, I just think you start to get some momentum to the upside. You would also be inside of today's value area low, which is sitting at, I believe, 38.18, matching our a prior weekly value area high. So you would be well accepted above those. You'd be coming into the weekly view apps. Instead, shorting 22 is just it's a little bit more aggressive, but I do think that is the safer short. You're right around that monthly high. You're right around Monday's low. You're at Monday's high of the day. You're at where we caught a great bid. You're at where we sold off of heavily into earnings. So this is where I think the sellers will stay. I think once you get inside of here, you might be able to get some sells, but overall it'll be a wish-washy kind of a spot to be trading. I will look to fade 67s and I will look to fade 93s. Overall, with earnings coming out as they had, with Amazon having quite poor earnings, Facebook as well, Netflix, I can't recall how they did. Google, I think, also didn't do so great. But overall, the larger stocks have done not so great. And the structure is also looking not so great for a bullish trend, at least in the short term. Um, so I will be selling 22, 67, 93, 06. And to the long side, I'm not looking to really buy any dips. If I was, I might be looking to buy something based on this patch of inventory here between 42 and 47, maybe. But instead, I'll be looking to short 42, 32, 14 half, and buy the dip at 85 and short it if need be. That's all I have today. Hope that helps. Today's Unfortunately, today's trades did not go well. The idea to be long at 34 was just not a great idea. I knew a lot of stops were lined up there. If we include Globex's trading, here we go. If we include Globex's trading, it was obvious that we had a lot of stops built up around this 34 area and that they would likely be run. That's what happened. It was a stop run and then a move back up. That 34 area did give a bid afterwards, but I maybe should have seen that coming and made it a look below and fail sort of trade. And unfortunately, the 67 quarter was a look above and fail, and it just did not come back to 67 once we did peak above and then fail down below. So for tomorrow's session, keeping it a little bit simpler, just shorting these levels and longing the extreme if given. Hope that helps. If there are any changes to this, it will be posted to Twitter pre-market per usual. Have a great night.